this board I want to share with you. Let me go to the board. Let me go to share. Share. Okay, can you guys see the board?
No,
Can you see it now?
it's loading.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. What we did in class is we went over, no, I don't want to go to that yet. Oh, yeah. We went over the perfect tender rule. The perfect tender says that under the UCC, things must be exactly like you described them in the contract. Okay. And you can see it says Article 2 of the UCC perfect tender rule says a buyer may reject goods the seller delivers, uh, that the seller's delivery failed to contain exactly, it says failure, let me see, conform. It fails to conform exactly to the terms of the contract. So under the perfect tender rule, under UCC, if the goods that you deliver, uh, if a seller delivers goods to a buyer and they don't conform to the contract, the buyer has the right to reject them. The buyer has the right to reject them because they're deemed to be non-conforming goods. So if I ask for 100 blue bricks, you have to send me, the seller has to send me 100 blue bricks. If he sends me 95 blue bricks, he's in breach of contract. Well, minor breach is not bad because I can get the 5 other bricks from someone else and charge it to the seller. So a minor breach does not excuse my performance. Well, if I ask for 100 red bricks and he only sends me 5 bricks and 95 are missing, that's called a material breach or a major breach. And when you make a major breach under the UCC, I don't have to perform my part. So I wouldn't have to pay that person because not delivering me 95 bricks violates the perfect tender rule. And the law excuses me from performing. Okay. So remember that the perfect tender rule says, in essence, things must be exactly as they're stated in the contract. If they're not exactly delivered as they're stated in the contracts, then the seller has breached the contract. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Any comments? And we also discussed, what is that? We also discussed, dying in state. Some student asked me about uh, if a man is married to 2 women and he dies, who gets the money? And I told him it's called the putative spouse. So she's an innocent spouse. She didn't know he was married to another woman. So she gets to share in the estate. We also talked about my legs. My leg stands for statute of frauds. So M is contracts involving marriage. Y is year. L is land or real estate. E is executor, the person who handles your estate after you die. And then goods over $500. And then goods that you co-sign for somebody have to be in writing. And I was trying to tell the students that Article 2 of the UCC governs the sale of goods. It should be an S on that. And Article 2A of UCC governs the lease of goods. So my wife and I went to Huntington Beach and we rented a bike and rode on the bike. Um, the bike was defective. It was terrible. So we brought the bike back and I asked for my money back. Now, if I was to sue that person, what would I sue under? Can anybody tell me? Would I sue under common law or would I sue under UCC? What do you guys think? Would I sue under common law or would I sue under UCC? What do you guys think?
What were the details again? I was writing things down from the board.
Okay, so should I sue under common law or should I sue under UCC? Um, no, I forgot. No, I forgot what the question was. Anybody remember what the question was? I forgot myself. What would I sue under when I asked the question? Anybody remember? Huh?
No, I was writing things down from the board.
Okay. Let me see if I can remember. Okay. I was talking about if the contract doesn't adhere to the perfect tender rule or something to that effect. Do we sue under UCC or do we sue under common law? What do we sue? If you go to somebody and I know now I remember. I said my wife and I were at Huntington Beach. We were rented bikes and the bikes were defective and underinflated and just terrible bikes. Anyway, we asked for our money back. Now, if the man doesn't give us our money back and we sue, what do we sue under? Common law or UCC? That's what I said.
It would be UCC, right?
Yes, you're exactly right, Angel. We sue under UCC. Why? It's a good answer, but why UCC? Why not common law?
Is it because they were defective?
No, it's because he's a merchant. So he's a merchant and he's in the business of leasing goods. A bike is a good. So if you're a merchant and you're in the business of leasing goods or selling goods, I sue you under UCC. So remember that for your final exam. For your final exam, remember merchants who are selling goods or leasing goods. You can lease a BMW. That's under UCC 2A. Or you can buy a BMW. That would be under UCC A. So remember that for your final exam. Look to see if the person is a merchant. Look to see if the person is selling goods and if they specialize in that selling of goods. Okay. On the other hand, if it's a service or if it's employment or it's insurance or if it's intangible goods like trademark or a patent, it's covered under common law. Okay. But if a non-merchant was to sell some goods, let's say I sell my bike to you, Angel, that would be covered under common law because I'm not a merchant. I'm selling one bike. That's my only bike. I'm not in the business of selling bikes. So that would be a common law contract. I'm a non-merchant selling a bike. On the other hand, if I was a merchant selling bikes, like White's Bike Shop on Alessandro, I'm sure a lot of you have drove Alessandro and seen that White or Alejandro and seeing that White's Bike Shop, he's in the business of selling bikes. So if he breaches a contract, I would sue him under UCC. Okay, does everybody understand that?
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Who's that with all that noise in the background? Who's that? Okay, so I go to a blood bank and I order 2 quarts of blood. UCC contract or common law contract? Malik, UCC contract or common law contract? If I go to a blood bank and buy blood, Angel, what is it?
It would be UCC, right?
Yes, but why? Why?
Because they're merchants.
Okay.
They're selling the blood.
And what else?
I don't really know. I just know they're not. It wouldn't be under common law because it's not a one-time thing, right?
Okay, right. But also goods. What's the good that the merchant is selling? The goods that the merchant is selling is blood. Okay. All right. So let's say a farmer sells his land. UCC or common law?
That would be under common law.
That would be under common law. Now let's say annually the farmer chops down trees on his land and stands in front of the farm. And as people drive down the road, he sells timber to the people that are driving down the road. UCC or common law?
That would be UCC.
Why?
Because he's a merchant now.
Okay. And what's the good that he's selling?
He's selling the lumber.
Very good. Very good. There you go. That's it in a nutshell. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Okay, great. Great answer. Let me go to the next one. That was the first one. This was the second one. Can you, stop share. Now share again. This doesn't look like it. Let me try it. Oh, that's the one I showed earlier. Nope, I don't want that one yet. Let me show this one. Can you see this one?
Yes. Can you maybe zoom it in a little bit more?
Zoom it in or out?
In.
Okay. Now can you guys see it? Is that better?
It looks the same to me.
Okay. What about now? Can you see it now?
No, it looks the same.
Okay. What do you guys want? Do you want it bigger or smaller?
We want it bigger.
Okay. Is that better? Is that better?
No, at least on my screen it looks the exact same.
What does it say? What does it
On my
say?
screen, it looks the exact same as well.
Okay. What does it say? Does it say merchant, common law? What does it say?
No, it just says buyer and leases, and it says.
Oh, that's something else. Then you're not seeing the screen that I have up. I want you to see the screen that I have up. Nope, not that one. You see something that says merchant common law UCC? Is that what you're looking at? Is that what you guys are looking at? It
With
says
with-
Sam sells expensive cars.
no, it says UCC remedies for sellers, leasors.
No, that's not what I want you to see. Okay. Stop. Now do you see merchant?
Yeah, it says oh, it went down.
Yeah, okay. Let me bring it back up.
It says something about Sam sells.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what the one I want. Okay, you see that one now? It says merchant. Sam
Yeah.
sells expensive cars.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, that's what I want. Okay. So here's this blue stuff wasn't up. Sam sells expensive cars. What does that tell us? What does that tell us, Angel? Sam sells expensive cars.
Sam's a merchant.
Sam's a merchant. Does everybody see that? Anyone see that? Do the rest of you guys see that? Malik, do you see that? It says Sam sells expensive cars. What if I said Sam sells his car? What would that be, Malik? Sam sells his car. Would that be common law or would that be UCC? Sam sells his car. Somebody help him. What would that be?
It would be common law.
Very good, very good. Because that's his own car. Now, if I say Sam sells expensive cars, that means Sam is a merchant. Okay. Now, if I say the next sentence says, it says that one Mercedes-Benz costs 100,000. Why do you think I put that in there? Why is that in there? Is Terry Ann here? Is Terry Ann in class? Terry Ann, why is that there? Or Anna, why did I write one Mercedes-Benz costs 100,000? Why is that on the exam? Anna, Ileana, somebody.
I'm thinking statute of frauds. Right?
No, it's
500 or 500 in goods.
No, it's on there because now if I say oral contract, if you see me say oral agreement, then that's when you should bring up statute of frauds. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oral agreement. Okay. So it's like this. If I say hand, what would be you guys' response? If I say hand, what would be your response? The first thing that comes to your mind. If I say hand, what do you say? Hello, today. If I say, huh?
I'm not following. I'm sorry.
Okay. What would be your response if I said hand?
Hand what? I'm sorry. I'm not following.
Yeah, I'm not understanding either.
Your hand. Your hand.
Fingers?
Look at your hand.
Oh,
Look at your hand. Okay. Fingers. Okay. Most people say glove. Hand, glove. If I say shoe, what do most people say?
Foot,
Foot. What else do they say?
feet.
They say socks. They say socks. Socks. Okay. Shoe, socks. Shoe, foot, hand, glove. So whenever you see oral on an exam, they made an oral agreement. They orally agreed. The two of them made a non-written agreement. Immediately think statute of frauds. Okay. That's the secret to taking my exam. If you see the word oral, immediately say, okay, this is a statute of frauds issue. Okay. And then go through the statute of frauds. Is this marriage? Is this year? Is this land? Is it executor? Is it goods over $500? Or is it surety? Or does one of the exceptions apply? Could it be admissions? Could it be partial performance? Could it be promissory estoppel? In other words, go through the process. Okay. Whenever you see the word oral. Okay. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Now, why did I put one Mercedes-Benz costs 100,000? Because I wanted you guys to see he sells goods. He sells goods. He sells expensive cars, and just one car costs 100,000. It's not enough to say the person is a merchant on your exam. You got to say what the merchant is selling. Okay. Here it says the merchant sells expensive cars. Here it says one Mercedes-Benz costs 100,000. So the goods that the merchant is selling is Mercedes-Benz. That's what qualifies him as a merchant and puts this under the UCC. He's a merchant and he's a merchant that sells goods. That makes it a UCC problem and not a common law problem. Okay. Curtis agreed to pay $200,000 for two Mercedes SL 550 on May the 1st, 2025. He sent his acceptance by mail on May the 1st, 2025. What am I looking for here? Anything.
Is it a contract?
It's a contract, but what in particular am I looking for in contracts?
It's the mailbox.
Very good. It's the mailbox rule. It's the mailbox rule. When is mail effective according to the mailbox rule?
The day you put it in the mailbox.
Okay, so acceptance was effective on dispatch, right? Revocation is effective on receipt, and rejection is effective on receipt. So do the two of them have a contract?
Yes.
Yes.
Who said yes? Why?
Me and Dana
So
said
you
yes.
guys, mute your background. Whoever you are, mute. Let me see who you are so I can mute you. Maybe I have to mute you. I've asked you twice to mute your background, and you keep letting that background noise in. It disrupts the class. So I'm gonna mute you the next time. All right, let's finish. Let's finish. The mailbox rule said, so when is the contract formed? When was the contract formed?
The moment on dispatch.
Very good, very good, very good. So pursuant to the mailbox rule, the contract was formed on May the 1st. When you put it in the mail, the mailbox rule states that acceptance is effective on dispatch. Okay, so we do have a contract. Now, it says Sam sells the two Mercedes-Benz to Jorge on May the 2nd because he hasn't heard from Curtis. What is that? Why is that there? Why is that there? That's there to show a breach of contract. He breached the contract. So now Curtis can sue him because he breached the contract. Does everybody see him? He breached the contract. Once you breach a contract, once you don't keep your word, it's called a breach. And then we have to look at what are the remedies for breach. What are the remedies for the seller if the buyer breaches? What are the remedies for the buyer if the seller breaches? Does everybody understand that? Let's see what they are. Let's see what they are. Let's see what they are. Let's stop showing this. Stop showing this. Let's show this. Can you guys see this? Remedies for buyer, leases. You guys see that?
Yes.
Yes.
What are the remedies for a buyer? Remedies for a buyer when the seller breaches. So that was a seller selling Mercedes-Benz. That seller breached the contract. What can the buyer do? Number one option is the buyer can cancel the contract. Number two, the buyer can obtain cover, substitute goods. He can get the goods from somewhere else and charge him. Let's say he was selling Mercedes-Benz for $100,000. He has to go buy a Mercedes-Benz for $125,000. That seller who he originally had the contract with has to pay him the $25,000 difference because he had to go pay more to get a Mercedes-Benz because of that person breaching their contract. He can sue to recover damages. He can just sue in a court of law to recover damages. Okay. Remedies for the buyer, lesser in the event he can recover the goods, but in this case, he wouldn't be able to go get the goods. He can obtain specific performance. He can't do that because specific performance only applies when the goods are unique. Like blood is unique. If somebody was to give you tainted blood, you'd be able to sue for specific performance and demand that they give you clean blood because blood is unique. And you can go to court of equity because your remedy at law is inadequate. Go to court of law for money. We go to court of equity for non-monetary relief. You can reject the non-conforming goods and obtain cover, as we talked about earlier. You can reject the fact that if there's non-conforming goods, but in this case, it wasn't non-conforming goods. He simply didn't deliver the goods. You can revoke acceptance. Remember, at common law, you couldn't revoke a contract once it's been accepted. In UCC, they make an exception. And you can revoke even after you have accepted under the UCC. So at common law, only the offerer could revoke and only the offeree could reject. But under common law, under UCC, you can revoke your acceptance. You can say, I know I said I accepted, but I changed my mind. I'm revoking my acceptance. You can also accept the non-conforming goods and then sue in a court of law for damages. Those are the remedies for the buyers, okay? Let's see what the other remedies are. No. Okay, what are the remedies for the seller? The remedies for the seller, can you guys see that? Is it showing UCC remedies for sellers?
Yes.
Okay, remedies for sellers, lessors, in the event of a breach by the buyer under the UCC. The buyers can cancel the contract. Remedies for the seller. The seller has these remedies. The seller can cancel the contract if the buyer is not cooperating. They can withhold delivery, not make a delivery. They can resell or dispose of the goods and recover the difference in price, as well as incidental and consequential damage. They can sue to get the benefit of the bargain. They can put liquidated damages in the contract. Liquidated damages are damages where you say, if you breach, you have to pay me $10,000. And the court will allow you to put liquidated damages in your contract as long as they're not punitive. Meaning, in essence, if the contract was $10,000, you can't say in the event of a breach, you have to pay me $1 million. That would be punishment. So as long as the liquidated damages are reasonable, the court will allow it. You can also stop delivery. You can call up and tell them, hey, don't deliver the goods. Don't deliver the goods. The buyer is in bankruptcy. The buyer is insolvent. You can also go get your stuff, pick up the goods you already delivered and say, hey, I want my stuff back. I delivered it to the wrong address. And you can get your stuff back. Okay. You'll see the method to the madness in 1 second. Can you guys see that? It says, Mary offers to sell her bike to Timothy. Timothy says, let me think about it for a couple of days. What type? Can you guys see that? Mary offers to sell her bike to Timothy. Is that showing? Hello? Is that showing?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Mary offers to sell her bike to Timothy. Timothy says, let me think about it for a couple of days. Is that a contract, Terry Ann? Is that an offer? Is that an offer? Anybody? Is that an offer?
Yes.
It's an offer? Okay. Is that, what's missing in that offer?
Acceptance?
Yeah, acceptance is missing. What else is missing in that offer? What does an offer have to have? What are the 3 things needed for an offer?
It's definite in certain term. So because it's like, oh, let me think about it, it's not definite.
Okay, that's good, but there's something else missing there. What else? Give me your definition of an offer, and then we'll find out if the elements apply.
It must
1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, can you guys hear me?
yes.
Okay. Can you guys hear that noise anymore?
No.
Okay, let's go. Okay.
So yeah, an offer must have serious intent. It must be definite and certain term and communicated. It cannot be revoked once accepted.
Okay, let's look put it back up. That's not the one. That's not the one. What did I do with it, you guys? I just had it. I can't find it. I can't. I just had it. Is it still showing on you guys' end? Is it still showing?
No, the UCC remedies for sellers is on.
That's what's showing. Okay. I can't find it. I can't.
I mean, I can share the example.
Okay, show it. You have it? Share it.
Yeah,
Share
it
it.
was, Mary offers to sell her bike to Timothy. Timothy says, "Let me think about it for a couple days."
Okay. What is that? What type of contract is that?
An illusionary, I can't pronounce illusionary contract, I think.
Right. It is. Very good. Very good. It's illusion. Why is it illusory?
Illusory. There you go. That's how you pronounce it. It's because it's not, there is no commitment. There's like, oh, let me think about it.
Right. So it's more of he didn't give a definite response. But what else is wrong with that offer? And you're right about that. I would give you points on that for saying it was a illusory contract. There's no real commitment. But what else is missing in that offer?
Oh yeah. It doesn't have consideration because there's no benefit or detriment, right? Like
Yeah. There's no definite in certain terms. Where are the definite in certain terms? Do you see any?
no, because it's not. There's no definite term because they haven't agreed upon
Right. So if they remember,
or anything.
remember the requirement for for an offer is you must have serious intent. So they're obviously serious. You must have definite in certain terms. They're missing entirely. And definite in certain terms, it means parties. Well, that part is there. We know who the parties are. Subject matter, we know what the subject matter is. Price, we don't know what the price is. Quality, quantity. You know, in other words, when it comes to definite in certain terms, the definite in certain terms are missing. So there is no offer there. Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. And then, like you said, it's also illusory. It's very illusory.
So like, say if this was on an exam, right?
Mhm.
Like if I say, oh, it's an illusory contract, but then it's not like a formal common law contract, would that be technically like a right answer?
Well, but the bad part about saying that is you're starting with defense instead of formation. If you
Oh,
can find a weakness in the formation, address that first. Then you don't have to come to the defense. Okay. So formation, you can attack it under formation. And then for extra points, you could say, hey, in addition to there being insufficient offer because it's missing definite in certain terms, you could say if it had, I mean, because it's missing that, it's also an illusionary contract because the parties aren't committing to anything. The offer doesn't contain definite in certain terms, and the other party has not said yes or no or I'll accept it. So, but I would go attack it under formation first, offer acceptance, consideration, capacity, and then bring up my defenses. That's how you do it. Always attack it on formation first, and then attack it with your defense. Okay.
okay.
Let me see. I don't know what happened to that. Yeah, it's like one of my charts disappeared. That's weird. So now I only have 4 charts up here. One is gone. That's weird. That's really weird. Okay. Anyway, so that's what we went over today in class. We also talked about the Dodgers. The Dodgers. If you were having a contract with the Dodgers, would that be a UCC contract or would that be a common law contract? If you have a contract with the Dodgers, would that be a UCC contract or would that be a common law contract? If you had a contract with the Dodgers,
Well, the Dodgers, they're business, so
okay,
I would consider them to be a merchant because they sell not, I mean, they're not only like a team, but they sell, t-shirts, merchandise.
okay. So therefore, you would classify them as a merchant under UCC and
Yes.
say the goods, but now they also provide a service. They also provide entertainment, baseball entertainment. So are they predominantly a service? They play 160 games out of a 365-day year. So that means almost half of the year, almost, they're playing baseball. So it's 205 days they're selling merchandise and not playing baseball. 160 days, and if they make up to the playoffs, even more, they're selling merchandise and they're providing entertainment services. So would we treat them as a UCC contract or we treat them as a common law contract? What do you guys think? Are you guys there? Are you there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. How would we treat the Dodgers?
Well, under those terms, and I would see it as common law.
Give up too easily. Give up. No.
Well, because I mean, if you're
That's a
saying,
good argument. The argument is really favors you. They spend more time, Ileana, selling merchandise. They spend 205 days. A lot of people buy merchandise even when they're not going to the baseball game.
Mhm.
So you were right when you said the first time, UCC, because they're predominantly selling merchandise. So this is how you have to look at it, okay? A blood bank primarily sells nothing but blood. So we call a blood bank a common law contract. But a hospital provides a service to their patients. And blood is simply incidental to all the other services a hospital provides. They provide patient care, they provide patient treatment, they provide patients with medicine. Blood is just one of the many things that a hospital does. So a hospital would fall under common law because predominantly they're more of a service than they are a merchant. So even though they are a merchant, they participate more in providing services than they do in selling blood. Whereas a blood bank, all the blood bank does is sell blood. Okay? Does that make sense?
yes, that makes sense.
Okay, so the Dodgers, you could argue, is primarily a merchandise seller, and they should go under the UCC. What about the people who provide us with water? Are they UCC or are they common law? Is that a service or see? I don't have that note because that note went into the details of all of this. I can't find it, but anyway, I'm gonna stop trying. But anyway, water, Southern California Edison, is that a service or is that a seller of goods?
Oh, you mean like the utility, not like
Yeah,
the,
utility. Yeah. What are they?
uh,
Service of goods. And the rest of you guys participate. Angel, what do you think? Malik, Terry Ann, what do you think? We lost somebody, right? Who left? Anna, did Anna leave? Yeah, I think Anna left. What do you guys think?
I mean, for me, when originally I thought it'd be a service, but since you say like the other class, you mentioned it's technically a movable good.
Yeah, metered goods. Because
Yeah.
it's metered good, it's UCC.
Yeah.
If you had a contract with them, it would be governed under UCC. Same thing with electricity, because it's a metered good. Okay. Now remember this, write this down. Write this down, okay? Common law contracts mostly deal with services, a non-merchant selling good, employment contracts, insurance contracts, contracts involving intangible goods like patents, trademarks. Okay. All those real estate, if it's real estate, if a farmer is selling his farm, then it would be governed under common law because it's real estate. But if farmer cuts down trees on his land and sells lumber in front of his farm to passing cars every year, then he's engaged in a business. And that would be governed by UCC, and he would be deemed to be a merchant. Okay. But what the law says is when it comes to mixed goods and services, it's the one that predominates. It's the one that you do the most extensively. That's the one that determines whether it's UCC or common law. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any comments? You feel you have a better understanding of the difference between common law and UCC? Does everybody agree that you probably have a better understanding of it?
I do.
Okay, Angel, you agree? Okay. Anybody else? Terry Ann, do you see any difference? Malik, you see any difference? Are you guys there? Malik, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Malik, you see any difference? Okay. You guys have any questions of me? You know, we're doing the vision boards on November the 13th. Remember, you're supposed to contact me by email or text and let me know whether you wanted to do a vision board or a business plan before November the 1st. You know, Saturday is November the 1st. So just a reminder on that end. Remember, your vision board should be covered all over, should have quotes and have nothing but pictures. It should be done on a 22 by 28 board. And I need to see the board that you did it on. Okay. You can show it on the screen on your computer, but you can upload it on the screen on your computer and show it. But I need to see the actual physical board at the same time. You could point to the board on your computer if you so desire, but I need to see the actual physical board that you uploaded that picture from. And it needs to be on 22 by 28, white board. And I want to see if you're following directions. Does anybody have any questions? Who is making all that noise? Anybody?